GBPUSD, AUDUSD, and a host of other pairs are about to trend. This is the time to double your account. Well, that is if you're a swing trader like me though. Without further ado, let's look at price projection for the coming weeks ahead. Now, starting with the dollar index as usual, we've closed the third week with a consecutive bearish price action. So going into next week, we should be expecting further bearish price action. This is the weekly time frame, by the way, and it looks like we are creating a potential double top pattern. And what is a double top pattern? A double top pattern is a bearish reversal chart pattern, right? So we should be expecting further decline on the US dollar. I mean, it's obvious last week price was completely down on the US dollar, which simply means GBPUSD, AUDUSD, and some other USD pairs trended. And I'm expecting that trend to continue next week and the weeks ahead. Coming to the daily time frame, however, to be honest, I actually expected price to continue bullish from this particular zone. If you watch last week's video, I gave two possible price projections here that if we fail to continue bullish from here and we actually break below, then I'll be expecting a further drop at least to this trend line. And that was exactly what price did. I actually predicted the collapse of dollar from this zone. However, my initial target was here, but we've broken below here and it looks like we are going to continue going lower. However, on the daily time frame, we have this zone to contend with. So if we can come into this zone within next week and actually break below this zone like this, then I'll be expecting a further decline on the US dollar. I hope you get the point. Now to the 4-hour time frame, it's the same. As long as we sustain below this trend line, then we remain bearish, because even on this 4-hour time frame, it's obvious that dollar is creating lower lows and lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high. Now we have a lower low. So what should we be expecting? A lower high, maybe into this trend line or maybe into this price area. So if we get a pullback into this area, then we should be expecting a further decline on the US dollar. So that is dollar index in a nutshell. But by the way, I use Dow Jones dollar index. In case you are wondering, I use Dow Jones dollar index. So now that we've seen what is happening on the dollar index, let's look at some of the dollar pairs, starting with AUDUSD. AUDUSD is like, it looks like we are in for an upward trend, which is a bullish trend. This is the weekly time frame, by the way. And if you remember, last week I was actually expecting price to come into this resistance. That was when price was trading below it, then see a rejection, then we continue going bullish. Why was I having that price projection as at the time I recorded last week's video? Simply because on the weekly time frame, price was creating lower highs and lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, right? Then price came here, we failed to create a new high. Then we created a lower low, breaking below this price region here. Then we created a lower high, then a lower low. So of course, by default, I should be expecting a lower low, then a continuation. No, I should be expecting a lower high, then a continuation for a lower low, right? But now, what did you notice, or what can you notice right now? Price has instead created a new high, breaking above this market structure. So this is how you look at the markets systematically to be able to generate trading signals for yourself. So now we have successfully created a new higher high on the weekly time frame. So what should we be expecting going into next week? I expect a continuous bullish price action. Now, if we go down to the daily time frame, on the daily time frame, it's cleaner, it's more obvious. We have actually created a higher high here, breaking above these previous highs here, as you can see. So two things is going to happen next week. Is either we get a pullback into this broken zone here, then for us to continue a bullish trend, which is the most likely thing I would like to see. Because if I see this happen and I catch a bullish trade from here, guys, I am swinging it all the way to 0.71283. All right. So that's what I'll be expecting on AUDUSD. But let's narrow things down to even a lower time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, it remains the same. I would like to see a pullback into this zone, then before we continue bullish into this price region here. Like I said earlier, 0.71283. All right, I would like to see this happen. Now I'm down to the 15 minutes time frame. Remember, I said I would like to see a pullback into this region before we continue bullish, but it's possible price may not drop all the way down to that particular area. So because of that, I'm down to the 15 minutes and I'm going to put, I'm going to box this in because it looks like we are ranging. It's expected after this impulsive move to the upside. It looks like price is exhausted for a bit. So I'll be expecting price to either break out of one of these regions here. All right. So if we break below this current support on the 15 minutes time frame, then we'll be in for that possible reversal to the downside. Of course, we can trade counter trend. All right. But just make sure that when you join the trade, when price breaks below here, make sure you break even quickly, just in case price wants to continue its bullish push to the upside. That way you don't get to lose anything. All right. And what if price fails to break below here and give us that pullback to the downside? Then if price breaks above this region, then we are going to continue the bullish push to my targets, the target I just mentioned from the previous time frames, the daily time frame. So I'll be expecting price to continue to that target if we actually break above this 15 minutes time frame here. So what I'm trying to say in a nutshell is I am bullish on AUDUSD for the coming week if price decides to go our way, because it's like price is acting crazy lately. But if we are going to go by technical analysis and the fundamentals that is going on right now in the market, then I'm bullish on AUDUSD. Now let's go to GBPUSD. On GBPUSD, it looks pretty similar to AUDUSD, but we are going to start from the weekly time frame. Now on the weekly time frame, I drew this trend line, this counter trend line, with the hopes that price came into it and we're going to keep going down. But what happened last week? Price actually blasted above that trend line and above this resistance here, because when price was trading below it, this was a resistance, right? And you can see the impulsive candle with which we broke out of this zone. So what should you be expecting? Overall, I'll be expecting price to keep pushing to the upside here, which will give us a 1,543 pip move to the upside. That's a massive pip to the upside, right? And as you can see on the weekly time frame, price is creating higher highs, breaking above this high, higher low, right? Then a new higher high, then a higher low, coming back into the zone, right? And now we have a new higher high here. So what should we be expecting next week? A new higher low, then for price to keep pushing to the upside. But price is not just going to go in a straight line all the way to the upside, giving us that 1,543 pip move to the upside. We are going to move from stage to stage, from zone to zone. So my initial zone now will be 482 pip move to this zone here, which is 1.31747. That's my initial target with this breakout. So, but for next week, let's go to the daily time frame. I would like to see an initial pullback. If you watch last week's video, you know this is where I painted two scenarios that if we fail to reject this zone and keep pushing lower and we actually break above it, then I'll be expecting a pullback then for price to continue pushing higher. Like I said, my first level target is 1.31747. So on the daily time frame, I would like to see that pullback into this broken zone, because we have a new higher high here, breaking above this previous high here, right? So I'll be expecting to see price pull back into that zone, and then we continue the bullish push to the upside, because as we already know, price doesn't move in a straight line. Well, let me delete this because this was my final destination from before. Now we have a new final destination to the upside. So this is the 4-hour time frame. Like I said, I'll be expecting that pullback into 1.26500 level before we go higher. But like I did on the AUDUSD, price may not just drop into that level. It may decide to just keep pushing higher. You know, price is dynamic in nature. So because of that, I'll do the same thing I did on the AUDUSD. Now we are down on the 15 minutes time frame. I'm going to capture as many touches as possible. And the touch I can see here is here, because price may come here and decide to bounce off. And I'm going to put another one at the top, which is around here. Then I'll make sure I capture this zone also. So I'll just box here in. Then what happens if price takes out this zone below here? Then I'll be expecting continuous push to the downside, which will be a retest to that broken zone on the daily time frame, because overall I am bullish, not bearish. So if we even take a sell, that will be a counter trend trade. Have that at the back of your mind. And if price fails to break below here and give us that pullback that I stated on the higher time frame, which was the daily and the weekly time frame, if we fail to break here and keep pushing lower, then I would like to see price come break above here, give us a retest and continue the bullish push to the upside. But overall on GBPUSD, I am bullish. Now let's go to EURUSD. EURUSD, starting from the weekly time frame. Let's see how we closed for last week. Last week was also super bullish. I mean, super bullish. So the EURUSD, I'm expecting price to come back into this resistance. And as you can see, we are also creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher low. So what should we be expecting going forward? A new higher high. But my initial target is this resistance here, which is 1.10717. All right. 1.10719. Sorry, 1.10719. So that's where I'm expecting price to eventually come into. But let's go to the daily time frame. Since we know price will not just move in a straight line, we should be expecting some pullback. But from where price is right now at the moment on EURUSD, I'm still expecting how many people move to the upside? About 131 pip move to this resistance level. But if we break above that resistance level, then we continue to the upside. All right. And let's go to the forward time frame. If you are not already in this trade now, how do we take advantage of this trade? Now, I'm going to look at this from the 4-hour time frame perspective. So I have two zones that price may possibly pull back into. So I would like to see price drop into this area before going bullish, or break above this area, give us a retest, then we'll go bullish into that resistance level. So these are the two areas I'm expecting a pullback into. And what happens if price fails to pull back around here? Let's assume we now break below here. Then this next level will be the zone we expect price to pull back into before going bullish. All right. But overall, I am bullish on EURUSD. But you know, price moves from a particular area to a particular area, and these areas are our support and resistance area, right? So if price breaks below one support level, then the next support level should be your next area, right? And if price breaks above a resistance, then the next resistance above should be your next level target. All right, that's how you trade. Now, if price fails to pull back in from here into here, let's say price now breaks below here, then you want to look at this next level as another area where price may likely pull back into before we go bullish. You need to open your mind thinking in probabilities when you are trading Forex. Now, that is that for EURUSD. AUDUSD is pretty much ranging at the moment. So I think I don't have much to say on AUDUSD, because if you look at the weekly time frame, for the past 3 weeks we've been moving sideways. If we go to the daily time frame, it's also obvious. For the past couple of days we've been moving sideways. And if we even go to the 4-hour time frame, you can see that price is really moving sideways. Price is ranging. So for me to know that we are buying on gold, then I would like to see us create a new higher high here, taking out this trend line. So if you can create a new higher high here, breaking above this previous swing highs here, then I would like to see a pullback, then we'll continue bullish. All right. But for me to go bearish on gold, then we have to come all the way to the downside here and create a new lower low. All right. So which means I'll have to be patient for us to create a new lower low before I start going bearish. But however, within these zones, of course, on the smaller time frames, I can easily scalp and all of that. What for me to go bullish, confirm bullish, swing bullish, then we have to take out this zone, then I'll go bullish. And for me to go swing bearish, then we have to create a new lower low here for a pullback, then before we go bearish. But within here, I will be scalping. So I have nothing much to say on gold. JPY is also trending. All right. Some couple of weeks ago, I talked about the fact that we've created a double top on the weekly time frame, and I also begged you guys not to overlook chart patterns on the higher time frames such as monthly, weekly, and daily time frame. You don't want to overlook them. So when I saw this double top formed here, I knew price was going to come into here, right? And as you can see, price has actually broken below there, giving us a lower low. So I'll be expecting a mini pullback then for price to continue pushing lower into where I don't know, because there's no historic data to actually predict where price is eventually going to come into. So now that we established the fact that price is bearish on JPY index, Then let's go to some of the JPY pairs on my watch list, starting from the same weekly time frame. You can see how price gave us something like a pullback into this zone and how we closed with a super engulfing candle for last week on USDJPY, right? Now let's go to the daily time frame. On daily time frame, I expect continuous push to the upside. Remember, I have been saying my initial target on USDJPY is 142.130, and we're this close to hitting that target right now. So before I continue with my analysis, let's go back to the monthly time frame. I want to show you a new target that I have on the monthly time frame. So on the monthly time frame, I would like to see price eventually break above that 142 that I just told you about on the daily time frame, and I'll be expecting price to come into 144.929. 144.929. Why? Because price has rejected that zone significantly historically if we go left, right? As you can see around this region. So I'll be expecting some price reaction around there. And if we take out that zone, then we'll be coming into 148.617. But for now, on the monthly time frame, I'm expecting to see price come into 144.929. So let's go back to our daily time frame analysis. So like I've been saying, this was my next level target from way back, and we're almost there. So when we get there, of course, I'll expect some pullback into this zone. Because if you have been watching my videos on market structure, you remember that I said when price creates a new higher high, higher low, higher high, you can see that we came back and retested this zone here, right? So if price continues higher and we start pulling back, where are we pulling back into? Of course, this broken zone here, right? Then from here, I'll expect price to continue going higher. So if you've not watched my market structure video, the link is in the description of this video down below. Go and watch it. It's going to help you because everything in the market move with structure. That's the only way you can even know if we are in an uptrend or in a downtrend or in a ranging market. So just go watch that video. It's going to shed more light on how to trade using market structure. So now, if you are not already in this trade, how do you take advantage? I mean, we still have some breathing space to 142.130 price region, right? So let's look at the 15 minutes time frame. On the 15 minutes time frame, if we are going to see some pullbacks for the early part of next week before we continue bullish, then I'll be expecting that pullback to come into this trend line and into this zone. All right. And then let's go all the way down to the 5 minutes time frame and also throw more perspective. So what if price fails to come into this trend line or into the zone? Then if we break above it on this 5 minutes time frame, then I'll be expecting a mini pullback into that broken zone. Then we'll trade all the way to the upside, giving us something like this with our stop loss here and our take profit here, right? So that will still give us a decent 1 to 2.5 risk. So which means if you are risking 1%, then your target should be 2.5%, right? So when we come into the 142.129 region, I'll definitely be expecting a pullback before we continue bullish. Now let's go to GBPJPY. GBPJPY, I've been calling GBPJPY super bullish for quite some time now, and overall I'm expecting price to come into 194.398 eventually, right? There, of course, price doesn't move in a straight line, so we'll see a higher low, higher high until we get into that zone. But let's go to the daily time frame. On the daily time frame, it's super bullish. Everything about GBPJPY is super bullish. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, the same thing, super bullish. However, I have been in this trade from here on my swing account, not on my prop firm account. You know, that's one of the disadvantages of prop firm account. You can't hold trade for an extended period of time because even if you're in profit, you could still violate 1 or 2 rules here and there, right? But on my swing account, I've been in this. Those on the mentorship program know this, and I'm floating around 900 pips to the upside already, about 912 pip. I'm floating 912 pip on this trade with a very tight stop loss. So I've literally doubled my accounts. All right. I'm not going to show the account here, but I'm going to show you the prop firm accounts that I executed when I executed this particular trade, but I closed quite early because, you know, prop firm accounts, right? So GBPJPY, I'm still super bullish. Now I can't see any spots where I can actually join this trade. So but next week I am going to send an update when price creates a pattern where we can join the bullish trend. But overall on GBPJPY, I remain super bullish. All right. That is my analysis for the week in a nutshell. The other analysis I didn't drop on this video, I'm going to be dropping them on the Telegram channel. So if you are not already on our Telegram channel, the link to our Telegram channel is in the description of this video down below. Take your trading to the next level with our mentorship programs. Visit letstrade10x.com for more info. Come join the League of Profitable Traders, guys. Stop giving your hard-earned money to the brokers and prop firm for free. You should be actually taking from them. Thanks for staying to the end of this video. Have a successful trading week and bye.